The envelope sat hidden in a pile of ordinary mail, quiet and unassuming. At first, I nearly tossed it aside. Just another white rectangle among coupons, bills, and grocery flyers. Its only distinction was the pale blue crest of Fairfield Trust Bank, printed neatly in the corner. I didn't notice it right away. My hands were busy sorting, my mind dulled by routine. Electricity bills, local advertisements, circulars I'd never use. Nothing of interest. I sipped the last of my second cup of coffee, and only then let my eyes drift back to the envelope. Something about it unsettled me. A tug in my gut, irrational but undeniable. I had no connection with Fairfield Trust Bank. No accounts, no cards, not even a savings booklet from them. What could they possibly want with me? Curiosity, sharper than caution, won out. I slid a finger under the flap and unfolded the paper within. The words hit me like a fist. Dear Mrs. Whitaker, this is a reminder of your overdue mortgage payment. I froze. My stomach lurched. The letter claimed I owed more than $7,000, the second installment on a $950,000 mortgage. And then, the threat. If payment is not received within 2 weeks, foreclosure proceedings will commence. I blinked, read it again, then again. The lines stayed fixed, merciless. I was 70 years old, a retired librarian, a widow for more than a decade. Robert and I had paid off our modest cottage on Maplewood Lane 40 years ago. That little house, with its rose bushes and narrow porch, had been my safe harbor. Why, after years of careful living, would I suddenly owe nearly $1 million? Picked up the phone, heart pounding, and dialed the number printed at the bottom of the letter. The line rang, then a click. Fairfield Trust, how may I assist you? A young woman's voice asked, professional, but detached. This is Martha Whitaker, I said, voice trembling despite my effort to steady it. I received a mortgage statement. There must be a mistake. I have never taken out a loan with your bank. Please hold, Mrs. Whitaker. Music replaced her voice. Thin, tinny piano notes looping endlessly. I stared out through the kitchen window. Beyond the glass stretched the garden Robert had once tended with pride. Roses, dahlias, hedges trimmed with patient hands. Everything outside looked the same, calm, ordinary. But inside, I felt something shatter. The voice returned. According to our records, Mrs. Whitaker, you signed a 30-year mortgage this March for property at 118 Lakeside Circle, valued at $950,000. We have your signed agreement, passport copy, social security number, and tax forms on file. The words crushed me. My throat closed. My chest tightened. Someone had stolen me, my name, my papers, my very life. And I had no idea who. But I swore I would find out. The moment I hung up, the phone rang again. Julia. Her name flashed across the screen. For an instant, I thought of ignoring it. But the need for something familiar, something safe, pushed me to answer. Mom, it's Zoe's birthday today, Julia said briskly, skipping any greeting. You didn't forget, did you? We're meeting at the Willow Room at 3. And please, don't wear that green cardigan. You know the one. It's a restaurant, not your garden. Zoe. 12 years old today. My granddaughter. I hadn't forgotten. I'd wrapped a small silver bracelet with a star charm, chosen with care, believing she might treasure it. I remember, I replied evenly. But Julia, something happened this morning. I got a letter from a bank. a mortgage I never signed. Not again, Mom, she sighed. If it's another credit card ad, throw it away. You don't have to open every piece of junk mail. It's not junk. This is serious. Someone took out a loan in my name, nearly $1 million. Silence. Then a short, incredulous laugh. Mom, really? Who would approve that kind of loan for a retiree? You must be misunderstanding. I'm not. I spoke to the bank. They have my personal information, my signature. They believe I bought a house at the lake. Another pause. Then her voice returned. Too calm, too deliberate. Mom, are you feeling okay? Did you take your blood pressure medicine this morning? Heat surged through me. Don't talk to me as if I'm losing my mind. I know what I read. I know what I heard. This is identity theft. I'm going to the police. The police? Julia's tone shifted to alarm. Oh my God, Mom, please don't make a scene. I'll come by after work. Just don't do anything until I get there, all right? I agreed. But something about her reaction stirred a cold certainty. She wasn't surprised. She was nervous, and that told me more than the letter ever could. By the time I arrived at the Willow Room that afternoon, my head was a storm of unanswered questions. The restaurant gleamed, glass walls, polished chrome, menu prices that made my stomach tighten. Patrick was already seated with his wife, Candace, and their teenagers. He barely looked up. Mom, he muttered, eyes narrowing. Your hair's sticking up again. Nice to see you too, Patrick, I said, smoothing it back with forced composure. Candace gave me a polite nod. The children mumbled distracted greetings, eyes never leaving their glowing screens. I slid into the empty chair, wondering, again, how my children had grown so distant. Where's Julia? I asked. Running late, Patrick replied. Something about work, the Randall family situation. Julia worked in Child Protective Services. She often spoke about saving children from broken homes. I sometimes wondered if she counted her own childhood among them. Half an hour later, she arrived, flawless, loud, perfectly timed. Mark trailed behind her and Zoe drifted in, her dress fit for a fashion catalog. Grandma, you came, Zoe said, more surprised than pleased. I wouldn't miss it, sweetheart. I handed her the gift. She took it, didn't open it. Thanks, she said flatly, already turning to her cousin. The bracelet lay on the table, forgotten. Julia leaned toward me, whisper sharp. What exactly did that letter say? You didn't believe me earlier, I whispered back. But it's real. A loan for a house I never bought. The address, Lakeside Circle. Her body stiffened, but she recovered instantly. Mom, soup or salad? She asked aloud, her smile bright and brittle. The rest of lunch passed under tension disguised as civility. Patrick and Julia exchanged glances. Glances that carried truths heavier than words. Back home, I sat at my computer. I wasn't skilled with technology, but I could manage a simple search. I typed 118 Lakeside Circle, Concord. Images filled the screen. A sprawling modern home, floor-to-ceiling windows, stone accents, a dock stretching into the water. It was beautiful, expensive, and purchased in March, the same month someone forged my name. That evening, sleep refused me. I sat by the window, the glow of the monitor still illuminating the lakefront house, gleaming white siding, glossy glass reflecting still water. Caroline's new SUV, fresh in my driveway that morning, flashed in my mind. She hadn't mentioned trading in her old car. She hadn't mentioned any house. Piece by piece, the puzzle assembled itself. She knew the system. She had my documents. She believed I'd be too slow, too fragile, too confused to notice. She was wrong. The next morning, I pulled out the old city directory. My finger stopped at the name I was looking for, Rowan Gates, attorney at law. Her card read, "Protecting your rights when others try to take them." I dialed, half expecting dismissal or a week's wait list. Instead, this afternoon, 3 o'clock. Her office stood in a modest brick building downtown. Inside, it felt more like a home than a law firm. Plants lined the windows. Sunlight spilled across the desk. Rowan herself greeted me. 60s, navy suit, a steady gaze that made me feel less alone. "Mrs. Whitaker," she said, shaking my hand firmly. "Tell me everything." And I did. From the letter to the phone call, the party, Julia's reaction, the SUV. When I finished, Rowan tapped her pen lightly. "This is identity theft, sophisticated, and the suspect is your daughter." The words ached. What happens now? 3 options. Police report. Civil suit. Settlement. If you do nothing, you risk foreclosure, fees, lawsuits, the loss of your home. I straightened. My voice was steadier than I expected. "Then we'll do something." 3 days later, Audrey called. "Martha, sit down," she said breathlessly. "Paige, my niece, she's catering this Saturday. A housewarming at Lakeside Circle." I said nothing. "It's Julia's. She booked under Mark's company name, Lakeside Events. Cocktails, champagne, live music, 40 guests. Your daughter, your house." Not a single invitation. I hung up. Then I called Rowan. "She's hosting a party. This weekend." "Then we'll serve her there," Rowan replied. "At the party? It's legal," she hesitated. "But Eleanor, are you sure? This will cause a scene." "I don't want revenge," I said. "I want her to see me, to know I'm not invisible. I will not be silenced." Saturday dawned clear. I stood before the mirror in a dark blue dress with a crisp white collar, neat, understated. My hair curled, lips brushed with color. I didn't look beaten. I looked ready. At a cafe near Lakeside Circle, Rowan waited with Elliot Nash, the court bailiff, tall, calm, precise. He explained the plan. He would enter as catering staff and serve Julia the notice. "You can stay outside," Rowan offered. "No," I said. "I'm going in. She deserves to see me standing." The house shone from the street, lights glowing, laughter echoing across the lake. Guests in cocktail attire filled the patio. We entered. The air smelled of new wood and expensive wine. Music drifted, chatter mingled, and there she was, Julia, flawless in emerald silk, champagne in hand. Her smile froze when she saw me. "Mrs. Julia Caldwell?" Elliot asked evenly. "Yes? I'm here on behalf of Concord District Court. You are being served with a civil suit for fraud and forgery." The room silenced. Champagne stilled. Julia's glass trembled. She clutched the envelope, knuckles white. For once, my daughter was speechless. The case moved quickly. Evidence piled high, loan documents, forged signatures, my clinic records, payment trails through Caldwell Holdings. Julia's lawyer argued family misunderstanding, verbal consent. The judge, a seasoned woman, hair pulled tight, eyes sharp, listened, unswayed. "This court does not take elder financial abuse lightly," she declared, "especially when it comes from family." The gavel fell. The loan void, my name cleared, Julia ordered to pay. Damages. The bank settled quietly. The house, seized. Mark left her. Patrick cut ties. I was alone, and yet I could breathe. The silence that followed was strange. No birthdays, no holidays, but slowly it softened. Audrey filled it with tea, scones, laughter. "What will you do with your dignity now?" she asked. "I don't know," I said honestly. "I've lived for others my whole life. Then it's time to live for yourself." She signed us up for computer classes. Twice a week we learned to type, to send emails, to navigate the strange world online. Each step was mine. Then one evening, she placed a glossy brochure on the table. Venice, gondolas, canals, sunlight glinting off the water. "You and Robert always dreamed of going," she said. "That was a long time ago. Doesn't mean it's too late." She was right, so I booked it. 2 weeks in Italy with my best friend. It wouldn't erase what had happened, but it was a beginning. I don't know if Zoe will ever understand. I don't know if Julia or Patrick will ever speak to me again. Maybe one day, maybe not. But I no longer measure my worth by their approval. I am still a mother. But more than that, I am a woman who took back her voice, her name, her power. And that will carry me forward, to Venice, to freedom, to a life I finally chose for myself. Sometimes, the people who wound us deepest are the very ones we loved most. Standing up to them does not mean failure. It means survival. If Martha's story stirred something in you, share it with someone who needs strength. Leave your thoughts below. Your words may be the reminder another soul is waiting for. And don't forget to like and subscribe, because every story matters, and every voice deserves to be heard.